the semi-finals against Origin, we panicked a bit. We played the wrong champions, kinda, and that is what costed us the last 2 games.
It's a tough thing for not only me and my team, but also Fnatic as a whole. Performing in this series against H2K and actually putting up a fight that we can kind of be proud of when we leave the stage is the most important thing for me.
We will try to make it up and not disappoint the match for like 3rd, 4th place.
He's down! H2K may have won it! Triple kill, quadra kill for Forgiven!
We only get stronger from this, and I really want to perform there.
Febiven on a hunt, looking for Trick, and he manages to take him down. Absolutely fantastic from Fnatic.
For me, it's just really important that we put up the performance as a team and give the people in Rotterdam a good time.
We'll do our best to win this game for 3rd place.
It might be a much closer series than people think.
We have to fight for the championship points.
To the 2016 European LCS Spring 3rd place match. We've hit the road and are coming to you live from the Ahoy in Rotterdam, where earlier we saw the action unfolding here as we find ourselves at the analyst desk already. Hello, everyone. And there, the fans, they lined up really early and we got to see them actually in the morning as well. Some cosplayers, Fnatic, of course, a very popular team here taking to the stage. And there's Fnatic themselves, of course, very concentrated to take to stage, as well as H2K fighting for that 3rd place match. And with today's match just minutes away, the arena is absolutely electric. Hello, I'm EpicSkillshot supporter here behind the analyst desk, where I'm joined by Mitch Kreppel Voorspoels, the jungler for Team Vitality Shuk, en Martin de Fisio Lunge. Nou moeten wij toch een beetje Nederlands praten eigenlijk, want...
Ja, want we zijn wel bij Nederland hier. En gezellig hier, leuke sfeer.
Gezellig, leuke sfeer, veel volk, netjes, netjes.
Mooie arena.
Danish, please.
I mean, you should do an effort here. We are in Rotterdam.
I know nothing.
Yeah, of course. Well, no problem at all. We're going to switch back to English because we want to take a look at the bracket and how the teams that are playing here today got here in the Fisio. You were mentioning to me beforehand that even if you take away the moniker of 3rd place match or final, these are some hype matchups.
Yeah, basically both matches we have here, if you swap them around, I still think a final of H2K Fnatic would have been absolutely fantastic. So it shows how strong our top 4 has been. Also because Vitality were kind enough to leave a little bit early, Shuk.
You're welcome.
No, just kidding, of course. They would have done fine here as well. But these 4 teams are all fantastic. And this game between H2K and Fnatic, it's 2 teams who obviously want to come in here and finish as high as possible.
Yeah, and I feel like for both teams, they want to look today what they looked like, actually not in the most recent round that they played, both for H2K and Fnatic, who of course got knocked out just last week.
Yeah, but if you look at how they got here, though, for Fnatic, just kind of started at the bottom. Now they're here. H2K, they came down from the top and they started crashing down. They did not expect even to play this 3rd place match, let alone have such disappointing results in some of their games. So I think they will be looking to prove a lot more, whereas Fnatic, we have to say, they have some experience with losing, so they may take the series a little more easy, but they have performed very well in front of crowds overall.
We have to remember that not only, of course, pride here on the stage is at stake, but also championship points. Sole possession of 3rd place banks you a lot more points. That is so important with that race for Worlds.
Yeah, last year the difference was only 10 points, and 10 points must be familiar to Shuk, because that's what you guys have right now.
10 points is not enough for us to get the world, so in the summer we have to step it up, and we're going for it.
You simply have to win the splits or run the gauntlet.
Easy.
Easy, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is only has been your first split. We'll see what Vitality can do. Then we take a look at the side selection as well for this match. And H2K is blue for all possible 5 games. That means that Fnatic also elected to be on the red side.
Yeah, a little bit surprising with the way they've decided to pick sides here. H2K, I think they're just going straight for jungle picks as like the first one, because Jankos was not happy playing the Graves, obviously into Kindred and Italy. So I think they're looking for Kindred first pick and Italy first pick. A little bit risky, because I feel like the best player in Fnatic is Febiven. And if he gets counterpicked with Castadin, Zed, these assassins he can play, that can be scary for Rio in the mid lane.
Yeah, we have to remember that Febiven definitely stepped up in the quarterfinal and also had a good series in the semis. How much do you think that mid lane matchup will be of importance?
I think if Febiven gets good counter picks going this series, he's going to have a lot of impact on the game and maybe just snowball his team into fishing control into the victory.
Yeah, that's why I think it's really important for H2K that they make use of that first pick. In the last series, they kind of first picked Sivir for Forgiven. Gave up the Braum kind of a couple of games too, and then Forgiven, all he did was press R in the most random moment you could possibly do. So hopefully either he has learned how to use that Sivir for his team, or H2K have learned to just not put Forgiven on Sivir.
In any case, a lot at stake here. And a reminder, after our series here in Rotterdam, we're going to head over to Las Vegas, Nevada for the NA LCS's third place bout between Immortals and Team Liquid. Quick prediction maybe for that one?
I'm going to say Liquid. I don't think Immortals has learned to play the patch yet.
I'm going to go with Liquid too.
Okay.
I mean, I hope they don't pick 380 carries into a Maokai. Maybe they'll learn at least that much. But yeah, I'm going to say Liquid as well. Matt's going to whip out the Bard and just 3-0.
Oh, it's Crepo talking about Bard again.
Oh, again. Yay, nice meme.
In any case, as always, you can also reach us on Twitter. Tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag AskTheDesk. And throughout today's games, we also want you at home to join in on the excitement here in Rotterdam. So add LOL Esports on Snapchat and get an inside look at the competition all weekend long.
Yeah, interesting. I was actually following another Snapchat account, Shocks or something,
Yeah?
also daily updating.
Kryptonite also has good stories about that.
Way better than LOL Esports.
No, not better.
Nice sellout.
Not, not better. We're all together, all good. But it's time to go to the stage because it is finally time to meet the contenders for today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2016 European League of Legends Championship Series third place match.
Vander's found his man, and Forgiven sent him packing. Odo's looking to go bowling, and he hits 3 on the back half. That is a massive wipe, and H2K are just going to end it here.
Starting on the blue side of Summoner's Rift, 2015 World Championship contenders, H2K. In the top lane, Odoamne. Roaming the jungle, Jankos. In the mid lane, Ryu. At AD carry, Forgiven. Supporting, it's Vander. And their coach, Prolly. Ladies and gentlemen, H2K.
Double kill from Febiven, and that has got to be it! Fnatic with the comebacks!
Starting on the red side of the Rift, 2015 World Semi-Finalists and reigning European champions, Fnatic. In the top lane, Gamsu. Ganking from the jungle, Spirit. In the mid lane, Febiven. Their AD carry, Reckless. His support, Clyde. And their coach, Daylor. Give it up for Fnatic. Let's hear it one more time for tonight's third place competitors.
Well, there they are, H2K and Fnatic taking to the stage, and obviously a bit of a louder roar for Fnatic and Febiven. He's also wearing an amazing cape. He has the whole flag already.
I saw it from very far. It's like, why is he wearing a French flag? And then I realized that was stupid.
Oh, Crepo. That's the other way, tilted around.
Even for you, Crepo, that was really stupid.
That was pretty stupid.
It must be familiar also at World Semi-Finals when they took on the Coup Tigers. Fnatic also took the same setup in the round here and walked that stage, so at least they are.
And then they lost 3-0.
But you are on edge today. I meant to say that the circumstances must be more familiar to them. Shook, do you think that will help them in any way here?
I think they're just going to go do their best. Like, they have experience on the world stage. Some of them are new in the team still, and they're just going to go do whatever they can do.
And I think we have seen H2K, if we go to the other side, struggle a little bit under pressure. I feel like almost every time they have to perform, some of the players are not showing up. as an example, Forgiven has never won a playoff series, ever. I'm not saying it's because he's playing poorly or anything, but it seems something goes wrong with some of these players. Now they're here, of course, in the arena. It is going to be tough.
I think it's very important, though, to have that kind of stage experience. LCS is one thing, but when you play in a big arena, and especially when your opponent is a crowd favorite, when you lose like one team fight, which you will, in this series, H2K will at least lose one team fight, the crowd's going to be cheering massively for Fnatic, and at that point, H2K need to make sure that it doesn't affect them, because if it affects them, they're going to lose another team fight, and then another one, and they may even choke out of the series. So mental stability is very important when you play in front of big crowds.
And also with that in-the-round setup, that adds an extra element that you can see your competitors right in front of you, which you can't in the LCS. Talking about H2K and maybe not showing up at the times that it is most important. Obviously now another split where they did fantastic in the regular split. They ended in second place, but find themselves once again in third place. And again is the question, hey, that macro level play that is so crisp most of the time, how come it doesn't translate to this moment, and what do they need to do to make it click?
So I personally think that getting better and better as a macro team is very difficult. Like once you are the best team in your region, it's very small things you will upgrade all the time, while every other team will scrim you and try and catch up and learn how you're lane swapping, how you're rotating on the map. So I think for H2K, they might start really strong, but then improving from there is very hard for them. Where other teams, it's more about player mindset. It's a player maybe stepping up individually, he needs to play a bit better, and then catch up in terms of macro, where you're learning from this one team you play over and over. And that makes it easier to go even with H2K coming into playoffs. And then suddenly we get these games against Origin where it's 5 games and it went both ways.
Yeah, Shook, of course, with Vitality, you guys also have a good hold on the meta. Do you see kind of similarities between you two? And how do you think H2K should overcome that in this match?
I think both us and H2K were ahead of the meta by far. Like we were rotation-wise, macro-wise, we were super far ahead of the teams, but everyone just caught up, and now it's super, it's super tight.
But when it comes to picks and bans, though, I feel like both Vitality and H2K were a little unprepared for the 6.6 patch. Just in their approach, Vitality is a little more than H2K. That's why H2K is still around here. But still, from a team that we praised so much, I expected a little bit more from them in their previous series. So there are many reasons why they're playing the third place match. But I just really hope they kind of learn from their mistakes, show their flexibility, and have improved.
Yeah, we will see. In that series versus Origin, they were actually only ahead in gold in Game 3, which was that game where they decided to pull out that old H2K style, or...
That was a gift from Origin.
Yeah, Origin allowed them to play it.
Yeah, obviously very poor pick and ban phase for Origin in that game, set up for the beautiful rotation play we saw from H2K. We know they can play that style. I just want to see them not fall into the same problems they had last week, because again, if you walk into teamfights over and over as H2K, we didn't see the coordination, we didn't really see the synergy, and I feel like Fnatic will then have a chance in this series to beat them in teamfights. Do you agree on that one, Shook?
I think it can go either way. I think Fnatic is a good team, H2K is a good team. Whoever is the strongest mentality is going to take it, I think.
Sorry.
In terms of junglers, though, from your experience playing against Jankos, what we saw in the previous match, that wasn't the top level of Jankos. So from a jungler that has actually played and scrimmed a lot against him, what makes him so strong usually, and what was lacking last week?
Last week it was not Jankos. Like he was not refreshing super well. He was not doing anything with any advantage he had. Like, but this week I expected different Jankos, and I think he's going to go hard. And do as he wants to avenge himself.
Yeah.
And this also fits in with them picking blue side. In every single game, if you are H2K, try and get that Kindred and Italy for him, or in case it's a Graves with the other two bans, still you have a stronger jungle matchup, and he can then have an impact, because it's going to be a lot about these two junglers and then, of course, the mid laners.
Yeah, Vander also said when he was on the desk the day after that Jankos really wanted to prove himself here up against Fnatic. The first time for the organization that they don't find themselves in the final of the LCS, and mentally that might also do something to them. And when we look at last week, something they really have to improve on is that pick and ban versus G2, and a priority they gave to some players.
Yeah, Klai was just a little bit targeted in that series overall.
A little bit?
Just a
tiny bit.
It's like, yo, new kid, show us what you got. And sadly, he didn't get everything or had everything ready. So that could be another strategy right here. The Thresh pick could ironically be a cornerstone, because I think it was banned a lot against Vander too in that series, despite Braum and Alistar kind of being the more stable picks. I think we'll see more a potential Braum first pick though on the side of H2K. Just lock in that really safe support that can then cancel just a lot of what Fnatic bring to the table in teamfights, and H2K can still function as long as they enable Forgiven.
What would you think the most important element in the pick and ban phase is? Who would you give priority to? Jankos on the side of H2K and Fnatic?
I think Jankos is going to go for a strong jungle pick. Spirit is going to do the same. It's going to be down to whoever pushes mid lane can get the space to go invade and get vision control down.
All right, I did get to cue that the teams are ready, so we're going to kick it over to the casters and get the series underway.